Epic Updates. Hi.
Jonas Ashley, how we doing? I was gonna see how long I didn't respond before she kicked in, so that was pretty quick. Good job.
I feel like we are really the champions of the most awkward intros.
We try to make it more and more awkward each and every week, so hang in there with us.
So we were toying with a few different topics to talk about today, and a lot of what you read in the news tends to all kind of be the same. Like, it's about interest rates and the change in NAR, and we covered all of that, and we got some really, really great feedback. But what we wanted to talk to you about today is
mindsets and
no, what did we say? Mindset and what? Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities.
Mindset and missed opportunities. And this
blank minds.
And blank minds. And this really comes from I am on the front line with people when it comes to the phones. So when we have people that inquire about relocating or about our local real estate services, they put just a blind inquiry on the internet, I'm the one that reaches out to them. I'm very, very forward facing. And so we were talking about interest rates and how that has affected the market and what people are saying. So can you talk to us a little bit about where we're at in the market and then how that's translating into my conversations?
Yeah, so kind of what led into this is we were talking about, the we've been talking about the Fed forever, so we won't get into that anymore, but, they're going to be coming up a meeting. The rates are actually at a 15-month low right now. So they are now getting in kind of the lower sixes. They were in the mid sevens, pretty big, significant drop. All intents and purposes, you seem to think that would be a big spike. Kind of a lot of, sellers are like, the buyers are going to be coming out of the woodwork. And it hasn't fully translated to that just yet. And so kind of we're, just kind of discussing that, to come down that much that quick. There is an uptick in mortgage applications, but, I think the thought process is twofold. I think it's, they're coming down, but they're going to continue to come down. So there's this hesitation, and there's always a reason to kind of, talk yourself out of things. So, we're obviously advising people, get in, take advantage before kind of that uptick. But then Ashley, when we were chatting about it, brought up a good point. And she's just kind of like, well, there's, more or less always a reason. Somebody's thinking of an excuse. Doesn't matter what the market conditions are. And one day it's this excuse, the next day it's the exact opposite excuse. So she kind of was rattling off some of those, and I was like, that's a great point.
Some hard truths.
Let's talk about that. So, get into that.
Well, when I talk to people, it's very rarely their ideal time to buy a home. And a lot of the time, they're waiting for the market to bottom out. They're waiting for prices to fall. They're waiting for interest rates to fall. They're waiting for X, Y, and Z.
But then the opposite happens.
And
then it's too high. Then interest rates are too high. Then it's too competitive. Then it's like no matter what, you're like, wait, but your excuse was this 3 months ago, and now it's crazy. You know what I mean?
You might be seeing this video on YouTube, so you really don't know Jonas or I from Adam. But those of you that are getting in your inbox probably have some personal experiences with he and I in regard to your real estate transactions. So you really have to know that if it's not a good time for you to buy or sell a house, you're absolutely going to hear it from us. So this is coming from a place of really wanting to understand. And when people are telling me it's not a good time for them to buy a home because of whatever the reason is, and then we have an educated conversation and I explain to them why it actually, based on what they're telling me, would be a good time to buy or sell, then there's another reason to not buy or sell. So I guess when we were discussing this, I think sometimes people just need to have a really hard look at what their goals are in terms of investing. And if it's not to buy a house and not to buy a second home and not to buy an investment property, there's really nothing wrong with that. And we're okay with you making that choice, but
we all need tenants for our rental properties. So your landlord will love to continue cashing those checks and raising your rent. But, I think a big part of it is fear.
And yes,
I think a big part of it's fear.
A lot of
I think
it is
a big part
by.
of it's uncertainty. I think a big part of it's insecurity, maybe not being properly educated. You're always doing the talks with the coworkers and the family member that seems to know for everything about real estate and that sort of thing. So, but at the end of the day, real estate boils down to calculated risks. You know what I mean?
Very valid point.
You want to, not be dumb, not jumping at the wrong time and have it bite you in the butt, but on the flip side to perpetually just kind of, think of an excuse or a reason, or let other people get in your head and kind of, skew your judgment and opinion. So if real estate's not your thing, if, your commitment phobia or whatever, cash trap no stress, you know what I mean? But but if you're in a position and you see the big picture, because we always say what real estate's a get rich slow game, right? So
it really is. And there are a lot of people that I've spoken with that shoulda, woulda, coulda, right?
Yeah.
They wish they would have bought in 2011 or they would have bought whenever, and they didn't, because it was paralysis by analysis. It wasn't a good time. And then you could buy a house with a pool in like Chandler for like $150,000-$200,000. So and that ship has sailed, and it's not coming back. So if you're looking for that price again coupled with a 3% interest rate, that just isn't the landscape of our market. And this is coming from a place of love. Like, if you really have a true objection and you want to work through it and find a solution, we want to help you be part of that solution. But if you're not 100% honest with yourself, and it's something you've been toying with for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, then that's okay. So it just was, this conversation kind of came out of just some comments that I had made, because I do have so many conversations with people.
I think it's a good exercise. Let's take real estate out of the equation. Ashley gave a wonderful analogy when she basically said people try to time, like, when's the right time to get married? When's the right time to have kids? Buy a house. There's no perfect time. There's not, right? So you just do the best you can with the time you have, and when it comes to pregnancy, a lot of times it's not planned. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, this is happening now.
That's what happened for you guys.
That's what happened for us with Kayla, with our firstborn. You know what I mean? And so, but like, you adapt and pivot, and you make the best of it, and then you fast forward. You're like, oh my God, I'm so glad this happened. But to not let the fear take over. So I'd say, wrapping up this video, I'd say a good mental exercise would be, and this doesn't have to be in real estate, just any component of your life, just kind of look back and just be like, am I always making excuses regardless of what the position is, depending on what the circumstances are in different aspects of my life? So, with this conversation, we're talking about how it pertains to real estate, but I think this is super applicable
to all aspects of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and again, if we go through this and we talk about what your needs are, and you decide that you don't want to buy a house, you're still going to get emails from us. We still want to,
but at least
we're still here for the long haul.
At least you've done the exercise. Because sometimes we chat with people and we're like, you're right, timing's not right. Or
100%.
Or we kind of little lights up, and they're like, oh my God, I never looked at it that way. Yeah. But until you actually have that deep dive conversation to figure out truly whether or not it makes sense, don't just sit there kind of kicking yourself in the butt. So
and we want to have that deep dive with you. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, feel free to comment. I can reach out to you, follow, do all the social media things that they're supposed to do.
Saying.
Yeah, the kids. Yeah. And if you're getting this via email, via our Epic Updates, then just reply to us. Let us know how we can help you and how we can best assist. But thanks for taking the time, and till next time.